Excellence, they're currently 7-10. XL picking up their first win, 1-16 currently. Going into the second game, picks and bans, we'll see how both of these two teams have adapted their strategies.
I'm going to predict here, Tolly, you ready? That it will be XL Esports will be first pick.
Wow.
Do you like that prediction?
That was spot on.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been working very hard at those sort of predictions so far this season.
Not bad.
I also predict we'll see 4 bans.
I predict 8 bans.
I predict 4 from each team. And 4 in the first phase. Followed by 6 picks, followed by another 4 bans. So yes, your estimation of 8 bans may be correct too.
It's just a different wording.
Well, they're taking a very long time about this XL at the moment, about what they want to ban first. Not a shock, it's going to be Wukong. Susano did get through last game, and we'll see if it happens again after the last performance. XL will be quite happy, to be fair, if Excellence wants to go with double assassin again.
Yeah, I didn't really see how that double assassin composition really worked out for Excellence at any point, except for that one time when the Susano and Nemesis all in on top of the Isis after the mid-Phoenix push the second time around. That was the one moment that I saw brilliance out of the double assassin combo.
Yeah, and I think what we saw there was XL really struggling to how to end the game. I mean, we saw them now start to understand how to generate a lead and abuse an advantage in the game, but ending the game, they struggled with until they were like, hang on a second, why don't we just all in the Titan? Like, we've got the damage here, we can do it. Odin, banned by XL this time round. It's back over to Excellence to choose what they want to ban as well.
Excellence, they could have played a little bit more off of the Hu Yi greatness in the early stages of the game by constantly putting pressure onto the Soul. Unfortunately, didn't look for it. They put Lycan a little bit more towards the Soul lane, trying to shut down Kaajee earlier on. But now this time around, XL gonna take the Ratatoskr. It was banned the first game, and Odin was banned in the second stage, the second banning phase.
Now I do like the Rat pickup here, because Airbrushd, I was gonna say I wouldn't mind seeing him go back to the Fenrir, because Airbrushd had a fantastic game in that Fenrir. Led from the forefront, did its job as a jungler really, really well. This time around going the Rat, he could do the similar sort of things, just more damage, less control.
Exactly. The problem with Ratatoskr compared to Fenrir is you can't really go in and stay in the team fight as long as a Fenrir occurred, because you have more sustain on a Fenrir with a Seething Howl. And granted, you could still heal with Ratatoskr, but late game Seething Howl is way more dominant than Ratataskr's heal.
Let's talk about dominance. Dominant laning phase for Isis there on the right-hand side for Excellence. And XL, well, they've gone for a dominant Hunter in this position in terms of at least wave clear and control in the lane.
I like the idea that Excellence has picking up the Isis, because the objective control that XL had with Hatters playing Isis, constantly the circle of protections, making it very difficult for Excellence to find the right opportunity. Now they're the ones with the Isis, so they should have objective control.
And the funny thing is, XL actually set that opportunity up for themselves, because they did ban away the Odin. The Odin now being banned away. Excellence recognizes Isis was a big issue. Hatters had a great game in it last time round. Let's make sure we can take it ourselves and make sure they don't get it, especially when we've got no Odin counter pick.
Now, picking up the staple jungler on the Thor with the Isis combination, very safe initiation and very aggressive initiation at the same time, depending on if you want to teleport to your hammer, find the Berserker Barrage, allowing Isis to following up.
This looks like Excellence is quite annoyed after last game. You know, obviously they'll drop their first game of the season to XL and give XL their first win. And now they're like, okay, we made mistakes last game. Let's go back to tried, true, tested. No more craziness. Isis, Thor, mid lane, Bacchus for the 3-man there as well.
You know what Excellence are saying?
What?
They're quoting the famous Spider-Man.
Which one?
Everyone gets one.
Everyone gets one?
Everyone gets one.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Just a tip. Hu Yi, Sol, Kronos banned out. Back over to XL for their final ban of this section. And then it's over to Excellent for theirs. It's going to be Jabalonke, so main focus on Hunters here, or Kronos, Sol, both can be classed as Hunters to an extent with their playstyle.
There goes that 8th ban.
And we were right with 8 bans.
Yeah. You were spot on.
Thanks, man.
4 bans per team.
Nobody really notices how intelligent.
There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes.
There is, really. I wrote out my script today for the intro. Extremely exciting, excellent extravaganza of esports, ending the evolution of Europe with XL versus Excellence.
You should have squeezed an Epsilon somewhere in there. Leading up to the Epsilon invitation.
Up to the Epsilon Invitational
that was a missed opportunity.
Extravaganza. Rama locked in, so after all those Hunters banned out, we went back to Rama. And Rama's, you know, he's been off for a while, came back because of Golden Bow, and now he's coming back one more time because his laning phase, not the strongest of laning phases, but his transition to late game is hella good.
Exactly. People forget just how strong that it really is, especially when you have gods like Thor and Isis, which have the crowd control available to make it easier to hit those Rama snipes as well. You're going to be sitting in laning phase for quite a while. You're going to try to match global of Neith with a semi-global of Rama, so he could just make a half rotation around the Gold Fury, look for the team fight initiation with his ultimate, and then go back to farming.
We've got global boys on the side of XL here. A lot of ultimates can get across the map in terms of different variations of this. Meanwhile, Excellence, they've got that Thor for some global rotations themselves, but they've got very dominant laners. Other than the Rama Bacchus lane, which I'm a little bit worried against a Neith Athena, it's more of the passive lane from that, but Excellence's lineup here, very, very strong at controlling lanes.
Excellence are going to be looking for the aggressive plays, like you mentioned, with this Bacchus-Thor combination. But XL could potentially try to capitalize off that. They have the global pressure of the Janus, which would allow the Ratatoskr to make that play in the dual lane as well. And the Neith could potentially look for a good, backflip root combination into a broken weave.
Now for you guys at home as well, obviously you can see there's no power potions involved in this game. Xbox on the same patch, console on the same patch as the PC at the moment. So can you first look at competitive play in terms of what itemization you may see people start to go for at the beginning of the games because those power potions are no longer here?
And looking at the build even further on, this time it's going to be Excellence with the Wrath onto Hysteria Echo instead of the jungler for the side of XL.
And Bacchus with a Wrath of the Gods is so effective as well. He's got Intoxicate for a big burst, followed by a Wrath. It's very easy for him to secure. Even if it's not Christmas, he can still be a fat, happy, jolly man.
And at this point, when you have the Wrath and you have the Isis on top of that, these objectives, there's no way that Excellence should be able to drop any of them to XL.
So I'm looking at the beginning of the game here, Totally, and why do we not see people doing back harpies anymore? I see both these teams just opting for red buff into boars instead of back and red buff into boars.
It just depends on how you can group up these camps, if you can line up abilities to hit both of them. Now, normally, Hui would be pretty efficient at clearing back camps very quickly, so it's all about the timing. You want to get to the lane first to get lane control as soon as possible.
Oh, good flop there onto Rawski. Belch going to follow up. It won't stun, though, because no chug available yet, but a fantastic roll in from Predators here. Those in-hands on point, and that whole minion wave coming in. I like the work from Drizzi there just to continue focusing on the creeps, because there's nothing else he could have done.
Taking a lot of poke damage for this Athena. It's going to set up for about that third or fourth wave, trying to constantly get those potions off, and then maybe forcing the Athena to back, making her lose more experience so she wouldn't hit level 5 for that necessary global.
Excellence off to a very good start in terms of the clear in the jungle there. They're getting the left-hand harpies right now with Thor and Isis. Going to rotate back towards mid, but aggression here onto HerpTheDerp, who's surrounded on the Isis. Great portal, which means the wall from Lycan just doesn't do anything, and Haddad gets credit for first blood.
That's the issue with Isis. You just don't have a natural escape, especially pre-level 5, which would turn a fight around, obviously, with the damage mitigation of the protections, with the sustain as well. Beautiful capitalization from XL, finding that early kill. And on top of that, the purification was used as well.
On top of that, it's so important for them to find those early kills against a Thor Isis as well. By putting the pressure on those two, it kind of slows them down a little bit on how much speed they can get going in the game.
Yeah, the snowball would be very strong out of those two gods between the middle and the jungle position. Meanwhile, the dueling, there's still a lot of aggression now, and with that early pick, invading those back right harpies, making it less farming potential on the side of Excellence.
It's funny when I'm looking at that duo lane as well over again by mid lane. Once more, Herb
Not again.
under pressure.
Not again.
Overextended, deleted by Airbrushd, who's just having a great 2 games.
That's what HerpTheDerp is saying. Not again.
Not again, over and over again.
That's the worst feeling. You literally just died. You come back to the mid lane, and you died again. So now you're missing out on more experience. This Thor is going to get ahead now because he's solo farming.
And here's the overextension. Because they're pushing so far forward, Rat is level 5. Good damage, good double stun. Nice roll away, and they're still looking for Predators here who should fall down.
With the dash available, Airbrushd should be able to confirm this pick, unless the Bacchus could save him with the beautiful belly flop. So not finding the kill. However, Hatters will.
Just catches on the right-hand side. Lycan's rotate over here on the Thor, wanting to see if people are going to overextend and instead go back to farming to catch up a little bit. But so far, so good for XL in game 2 as well. Off to a flying start with 3 kills.
This is 3 easy picks that they've done so far. Now, the issue is can they extend this? They just have to, they can't go for Gold Fury because of the Wrath on the Bacchus. They have to find these little objectives with the red buff available and the speed buff. Unfortunately, Hatters has no mana, half health, no ultimate available as well. So it's going to be a little tricky.
That's one more wave mentality right there that you can see from him. But a good portal with the last of his mana to make sure his teammate there, Airbrushd on the Rat, gets out of the danger zone nice and easy.
trying to extend the lead even further, not getting those Fire Giant Elementals as that was taken by the Ravana earlier on. He's going to get his own speed buff instead of trying to extend the advantage. Now, the Athena ultimate is another tool to their disposal if they wanted to go for these invades, as well as the Neith ultimate.
Well, so far so good for XL. I mean, their dual lane made a couple of mistakes in the early phase. This was the lane that should have been winning for them with Athena and the Neith combining. But Athena getting caught early on, Rawski there, meant Excellence had control, and actually Airbrushd just answered that so well for his team with that rotation to actually even things out a little bit here and give the dominant factor back a little bit more to XL.
Well, the issue with the dual lane is when the Bacchus belly flops the whole wave and both of the dual lane gods, that's going to prevent them from clearing.
Oh, this plays a bit crazy here. They're looking for the big one on HerpTheDerp. The slow-mo comes in. Pizza roll extravaganza. They will find the kill, and I'm surprised we saw Airbrushd going so aggressive with so little mana.
Not having anything available to him to try to defend the aggression from XL. Now trying to go into this red buff available. Gonna find the belly flop onto 2 members, but no follow-up.
And Paul is a follow-up though onto him, and the unstable vortex connects. Not enough damage though. Airbrushd will secure the red buff on the left-hand side, so XL learning from experience. They've managed to strip more and more things from the jungle to keep extending an early lead.
Gonna get the left side mid Harpy stripping away the red buff. They have the red buff of their own if they wanted to go for that, but they're gonna go for more farm. Kaajee just gonna go up into the clouds, gonna sustain a little bit. Farleez gonna wait for the land down. Gonna have a lot of mana to work with, but gonna get knocked up in Nox form. Beautiful disengage.
Yeah, good disengage from Kaajee there, but he got body blocked by minions is what I saw in that as well. I think he didn't really want to have to use his ultimate, so it's a net win at the moment for Ravana. If he gets some support from Lycan here, they could look to try and gank this on Wukong.
And you have to be careful with Bluestone Pendant trying to poke out the enemy, especially this early on when you don't have physical defense available to you. Those archers are going to hurt.
Here's the gank potential coming out. Lycan still hanging around there, but talking about ganks mid lane, HerpTheDerp will take a 4th fall into Oblivion, and now Lycan changes his mind, looking at mid for Hatters.
Hatter's going to get dunked down, forced to Purification, and with a belly flop confirming first death on the side of Excellence, while preventing Airbrushd from going back into the safety of his tier 1 tower. Going to try to go the long way around, but Ravana making the rotation as well.
But he's going to be very careful about the dash coming through, and the support is there from Athena to peel with the taunt. Nicely done. Still Airbrushd running for his life. Lycan giving chase, but he can't find the spin to win. Wall, however, will secure the kill for Farleez and make another answer back for Excellence.
Speed buff almost saving Airbrush's life, but the Tectonic Rift allowed Farleez to get in position for that last confirmed kill. 2 on the side of Excellence. They're still on the board. They are down about 1,500 gold currently. More importantly, 1,800 experience. So XL, they could still play aggressive, especially in the 1v1 here. Neith with the red buff.
Well, Drizzle lost a lot of 1v1s last time round against Predators in this lane, but on Neith this time against the Hou-Yi, sorry, against the Rama, could be a bit of a different story here. Rama doesn't have the easiest lane against the Neith just because of the unravel slowing the attack speed.
No, not at all. The attack speed and the sustain on top of that backflip is very easy to try to disengage from the roll. So it's also going to bait out Rama. If he tries to roll against the backflip, you're going to get rooted and weaved, so you're going to be taking a lot of damage.
Completely true. Rawski going to have mid lane here on the Athena. Talking about supports.
Rats in the air.
Oh, is he? He is. He's going again. Looking for the pressure on Rama. Well, Weaver coming through after the roll has already happened, but he's in tower range now, so he will get away from danger for now. Athena could have ulted into that, I guess.
Sure, but at the same time, that was 2 ultimates on the side of XL, forcing the Purification out of Rama. So overall, I would say that's still a win of XL, as long as Excellence doesn't find a team fight right away.
Well, through space and time just got randomly fired there, as you saw on your map. Didn't come to any benefit, and they're trying to force this Gold Fury against Hysteria Echo on the Bacchus, who has Wrath available, and his Intoxicate is up.
Lycan's in the air, gonna land down onto Airbrushd, forcing the Purification. Farleez trying to make a rotation as well, doing a little bit of damage, but Kaajee going to knock people up. Looks like
Rawski.
one member's going to fall. Rawski in a lot of trouble.
Already dead, and now Airbrushd forced out by Lycan with the in-hands as well to follow up after the double tap. Drizzi on the left-hand side made a rotation. You can see Predators just sat in lane there, continuing to push up as the team of Excellence pressure mid as well, but maybe, just maybe, a mistake has been made by Predators.
He pops the mana pot, trying to get any sort of mana for that last important roll, and he barely escapes with his life. And now this time, it's going to be Excellence that forced the Gold Fury, but they lose Echo in the process.
They do lose Echo, and now you can see the follow-up from Farleez trying to get in there. Has to overhead kick away, but being chased down by Rawski, as well as Kaajee. Unstable Vortex off the mark from HerpTheDerp. The portal follow-up is better, and the Jingu Bang will secure it.
3 members dead on the side of Excellence, and now this is the position that XL needs to force the Gold Fury, because now Bacchus is not in position to to get that confirmed Wrath Invade steal.
Messy fights from both teams, but XL coming up smelling roses right now. And that's what they really needed to do. Be such a nice end to the season for him if they can 2-0. Not for the side of Excellence, though. They'll be kind of disappointed.
A little bit of satisfaction on the side of Excess. Like, man, why couldn't we play, you know, this
all
good, all split long? But regardless, you still are doing a great job. You have the tools at your disposal. And as long as you're learning something game by game by game, that's all you really want to do as a team to progress for the next split.
I agree. And when I'm looking at this fight now, Predator's going to roll in and get Drizzi in an awkward position. And Drizzi should fall down unless Athena comes to the rescue. It was a good World Weaver, but the ult's there. And the cannons rain down. The bazookas, I should say. Third shot off the mark. One more in hand will do it. And he finds it. Body blocks just off the mark a little bit by Rawski. And in the jungle on the right-hand side, you can see the invasion onto Airbrushd speed. But he's okay. He's still got his own.
He has his own speed, as well as Lycan having his speed. With a little bit of a skirmish, not really much going off of that. Red buff on the side of Excel. It's going to be taken. Janus is going to pick that up. Going to be potentially looking for a play. They do have good level advantages.
Well, they're going for an engage here because Echo's going to lead the way in. Thor in the skies. You already heard him going up. Going to look for the dunk potentially, but I believe we just heard through space and time fired by HerpTheDerp, and it was just to make sure he had an escape route. Worried about Thor coming in.
And Airbrushd lands down with his ultimate, not finding a connection onto Lycan. Just going to be a huge disengage. Meanwhile, in the dual lane, just finding the split push is the Rama, just trying to catch back up.
I think the big thing I'm seeing out of XL here today, a little bit more organized, a little bit on the same page. I think Drizzi's definitely going to work on getting baited less overall. He seems to take a lot of 1v1s that he shouldn't probably be taking, and that's hurt him a lot so far. At least last game it did quite clearly. This game he fell down again once or twice for being, well, just this once, but he's got to be careful about position and how long he's staying in lane.
I would say, like, both of these hunters are just feeling a little bit loose, you know, in some, whenever you're don't really know where the enemies are, you know, there's more stake on the line, you're not going to take those 1v1s because you just don't know who's around the corner. But when these games don't really matter in terms of land contention, you're going to take the 1v1 fight just to see if you can get away with it.
Well, that's the first flop I've seen Echo miss so far. Hysteria on the back has had a great game so far. Every time I've called the flops, they've hit multiple targets or key targets at the right time. And now you can see Kaajee rotating to the jungle here, looking to put some pressure onto Lycan. Jingu Bang finds its mark. He's got a 3-level lead over that jungler there. And now looking at aggression onto Bacchus, who's surrounded by 3. Going to be stunned from the belch, but the circle of protection's down in a good position. Kaajee under pressure. World Weaver comes out there to hit HerpTheDerp. And now it's Herp, who's in a world of hurt.
Taking so much damage from that unstable vortex. Kaajee finding the kill, landing from his ultimate. Airbrushd trying to juke as long as possible. Farleez can't find the right angle for the last hit opportunity.
Good work from his team to peel for him there. And he's actually going to dunk back in for more support, as does Thor at the same time, looking to clean up potentially on the backside there. The aggression.
Oh, the through space and time.
HerpTheDerp will find the kill, the through space and time. And now Predator's looking to clean up the whole squad on his own.
Airbrushd gonna try to still be in this team fight, you know, still being relevant. I love the play. He was like a madman in the sky, like 20% health, still lands down just for the knockup and instantly dashes away. And that's what you need to have mentality-wise as a player. Like, sure, I am 20% health, but I still have some tools available to get my team out of a sticky situation or maybe help them out and win this team fight.
And XL is starting to run away with this one now. Poor old HerpTheDerp on the ISIS as well. 0-6 so far this game at only 11 minutes in. This is more of a sign of they played ISIS last game, so we have to take it away from them. But maybe I'm just not as confident or as used to positioning with an ISIS like I would be on another god.
Position is so important. You have to constantly play behind your jungler in the earlier stages of the game, allowing him to be the one initiating and then you following up.
Speed buff going to be stripped from XL rather, giving it over to one more time to Airbrushd, who, as a substitute, I believe, came in, did a very, very good job today. Good taunt in the mid lane, though, from Rawski. Did a great follow-up from the whole team of XL. Flop on the mark one more time from Echo, but it's not going to be enough to keep his teammate alive, but he will answer back with a kill of his own.
Lycan has to be so careful about using that hammer aggressively just to clear the wave. You have no idea where any members are on the side of XL, so finding that early pick, luckily for Excellence, there's no Gold Fury for them to take.
Not for the time being anyway. It's going to be a couple more minutes for that one. Red buff, though, given over to one more time to HerpTheDerp. Going to pick that one up for himself. And left-hand side, Predator's a little bit overextended here. Has to watch it because Drizzi's going to come back in lane. He recognizes he's there. I just don't think he realizes Athena's on the way right now because now he's out of position. Now he's been forced to purify. Now he's been forced to roll. They could look to trace this down, but it looks like Drizzi just wants to farm it up and play it safe.
The ultimate from Drizzi is still available, and without the purification from Rama, that's going to spell trouble. Drizzi could easily take this next team fight or this next 1v1 fight, forcing out the health potion. There are some rotations in the duel lane. Bacchus has made an appearance as well, so we could see a 2v2 here. I
think the big key there is I don't think XL realized that Thor wasn't around. They don't have wall coverage to keep track of him, so they decided to play it safe, and I think that was a wise idea. Hysteria, Echo here. Plays with TSM, if you didn't know. Yep.
Look at that. TSM.
Team support.
TSM.
Team support mate. I don't know what it stands for. Team support mate. Meanwhile, Ultimate in the jungle from Airbrushd, looking for a gank, but not going to find it. Will weave his channel though, because they know he's not got any sort of protection from a purification here. Sanctuary bought him a second, and there's a dunk from Rawski.
That's 3 ultimates confirmed, and now Lycan on the sky trying to find the counter engage. Going to try to land on Airbrushd, is just a little bit off the mark. Neith is a little out of position. I would have liked to see Lycan come in onto that target.
Good taunt coming out as well, just to stop Echo from following up, and now Echo needs to watch his position in the jungle though. Man fight going on, and HerpTheDerp through space and time, and the in-hands find the kill.
4 levels ahead with red buff, taking a 1v1 fight. Very easily confirmed 1v1 kill. Great job by HerpTheDerp, and it's also very difficult to hit through space and time like that.
Well, let's watch Hysteria Echo on the Bacchus here, trying to defend the Gold Fury. Has Wrath available to get in here, going for the flop, going for the play. How early is he? Just a little bit too early, and he's evaporated, and the Gold Fury goes the way of XL, and after, you can see that the jumping from Farleez on the Ravana, he's going to get chased down now.
Going to get stunned, going through the portal, going to get slowed down as well. HerpTheDerp potentially could follow this up, but he is very low. He's going to play a little bit safe. You got the Gold Fury. There's no point in giving up your life for it.
Lycan's wall there was just on point. He hit the double tap on HerpTheDerp as well, just to force him out. Make sure they kept his solo lane from being in too much more danger. But excellent. They just can't seem to answer back XL so far this game.
No, the pace control from XL is just too spot on currently. These globals are making it very difficult for Excellence to really get any sort of control, especially with your mid lane collapsing as much as it did this stage of the game.
Yep, blue buff given over one more time to Kaajee on the Sun Wukong. 3-0 on 3 on the Sun Wukong. Has breastplate of Valor online, working towards the hide of the Urchin too. So general standard tanky builds coming out, and consider all the item changes we've seen so far this season, Totally, and the changes to power pots and some of the relics, we still see the same sort of thing.
Just trying to stay relatively true to the traditional builds. Now, they're good for a reason. They're 80% of the time the most efficient build. Now, there are some exceptions currently. Sun Wukong picking up the curse, trying to deal with the Isis sustain is very important. We don't normally see this very often.
Man fight once again in the duo. Drizzi wanting to take this fight. He's got a level lead here. Looking at itemization between the two, and they're relatively even. Transcendence for the power spike in favor, but the bait in is what's important. The dunk comes down at the same time from Airbrushd as the ult goes up from Predators to return some damage to Drizzi. The dunk landed at the same time as he landed, and that just spelt the end of Predators one more time.
Really unfortunate timing for Predators, not having the roll available when he landed down. He could have potentially canceled his ultimate early and then roll away again, but it is about an 8-second cooldown when that is maxed out. Great pressure from XL, getting this tier 1 tower immediately after the pick, but the tier 1 mid tower is in jeopardy.
He's in jeopardy, but maybe they could just look for a tier 2 here instead, and maybe just look for a tier 2, trade it out, make it worthwhile, but no, they can't make up their mind right now. HerpTheDerp's going to go in, they're going to take it in turns to tank this one up and look for the tier 2. Kaajee rotating mid lane from the Sun Wukong to try and defend the tier 2 there, so they should work out well for XL still.
So far, so good. Tier 2 tower is a little bit less than half health, as we do have Sun Wukong defending. Echo is very low, barely able to escape currently. Tier 2 tower does finally fall into duel lane with Shell being procced. It is going to be a heavy disengage on the side of XL.
But who is Farleez going to try and chase down here on this Ravana? Can he actually chase anyone down whatsoever? It doesn't look like the case. He's actually going to look for Drizzi now. Slow comes out, good punch power. In a minion wave though, just to get some body blocks, and Drizzi doing a good job juking, but he's not buying himself any more time. Only enough for the backflip, and I don't think Farleez is going to care too much about that, because he should still be able to find the kill. Early purification, early sanctuary.
He's panicking.
Farleez.
So what he could have done was he had his Aussie proc passive earlier on when he was kiting around the wave. He could have used that for lifesteal, as well as maybe Athena sacrificing her own life. But luckily, Drizzi getting to the tower line, and with the rotation from Airbrushd on that teleport.
Snipes coming down from Rama looking for the kill. Oh, Hadders from downtown! Halfway across the map finds the kill, and now they're looking for another one of the tower, but the Tiger just cannot find the bird at this moment in time.
No, not going to find it, but this Isis should definitely go down. Taunt into the unstable vortex. Unfortunately, Hysteria Echo was just a little bit too late off the mark. Rama not able to find the kill onto the Neith earlier on with a snipe. So with that Isis dead, tier 1 solo tower is going to get pressured.
It's a messy fight going on here, and you saw the the teleport coming out there from Farleez to get back here and defend. But both fights going on across the map, and either side, and it's getting a little bit too messy between these two teams.
Kaajee going to get stunned out, but it's only a Bacchus that's playing aggressive. Farleez playing very back. Predator's going to fall to the nice rotation from Airbrushd. Sanctuary buying a little bit of time. Nice roll. And this is what you need to do as a hunter. Look for those auto attacks while your Aussie is active, because you have no escapes currently, so you're just basically relying on the lifesteal to maybe stall as long as possible.
You saw the stall earlier on from Drizzi, juking out the Ravana that was chasing him, pre-purification, pre-sanctuary, when nothing was even coming his way, but it did help him escape.
It did. It bought him enough time to get to the tower, which basically discouraged Farleez from going into that tier 1.
I will say HerpTheDerp is stepping up slowly but surely in this position. So far, we saw his ISIS game earlier on, hitting these snipes on point 2 this game as well. On top of that, and he's now 10-1-7 on this Janus.
It's very important to try to extend the advantage that you have. With the ISIS being 5 levels behind at the Janus, you have to be looking for these aggressive plays. And the fact that he's also executing them, landing it, is what's making it better.
Well, they dive mid and they find 1 kill. One more time into HerpTheDerp. Then they dunk onto Bacchus too. Airbrushd did hit the circle of protection there, which I don't think he really wanted to. Lycan in amongst the pigeons now. That is XL's team, but XL still winning this one out. Drizzi's a little bit low, gotta watch himself, gonna use the unravel to heal up a bit. Still being focused and flopped on, no backflip available. Now it is, but he's backflipping into a dangerous territory, which was where Lycan was, and HerpTheDerp make sure he can't get involved.
Level 19 HerpTheDerp with red buff, Unstable Vortex, doing so much damage to the Thor. Nowhere for him to go. Doing so much damage to Farleez as well, and that's a solo laner.
They're looking for the stun, not gonna find it there, and there's a Belcher trying to dissuade them from that, but the taunt comes out as well. Now Rama is here as the Will Weaver fired. Actually, only hits onto Echo on the Bacchus. Kaajee gets up in the sky, and Drizzi secures one. HerpTheDerp secures another, and poor old Predators, he's on his own.
And trying to find the Unstable Vortex, taking out half of the health of Predators. He's going to fall as well. That's going to be an unofficial deicide as
ISIS to the rescue. You ready?
Trying to do something. Level 13 Spirit Ball clearing the archers.
0-9 ISIS. Gonna defend the goal Fury. I can feel it. I can feel it.
With a clutch Spirit Ball?
The clutch Spirit Ball Circle of Protection play. He's going to do it even though Circle of Protection is not up for 25 seconds. He's still going to go Spirit Ball, Silence, Circle of Protection, win. He can do this. No, he's going to farm instead.
Nope.
Makes sense. Even
Pizza roll is like,
Pizza
nope.
roll Pecky's was like, nah, bro.
Not going to happen.
Feels bad, man. Bit of a rough game, and when you look down the side of excellence here, none of their carries have kills. Only 1 Predators. Their support has kills, their solo laner has kills, the rest of the team, not so much.
Now, these definitely are not the characters that you want to have the kills, especially the Bacchus having 3 kills. Now, that's a trick saying Bacchus.
It is, and they picked it early as well. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. That's where it's all come from.
People are studying Trick Tank so much that they're taking his strategies.
Problem is, though, is since he's got that Hide of the Urchin online, not a single kill or assist for that Bacchus. Feels bad.
Man.
Just a slow play from XL now, because they've taken the outer towers, and they're winning these team fights consistently, but they can't just push on for no reason yet. They should be looking for potentially just picking up Predators here. They kill Predators. I don't think they're worried about anybody else in the rest of the team. That's the only one that's really starting to do damage, and he's not scared to fight them either as Predators.
It just seems that at this point, XL can really get away with anything that they want. They're just forcing out the purification from Lycan. The Neith that's level 18 is forcing the purification from the level 15 Thor. And she's out of position. Nobody's going on her.
Lycan forced out as well on the hammer. Left-hand side, there's a gank one more time, and it's looking for the pressure onto Predators. He's overextended again. Rolls away, but for how far can he roll is the question. Tell you what, it's not for very long at all. He did get some good damage off, so he gets his player stats buffed a little bit in terms of damage, but he's still going to fall down, and he's in mid lane. HerpTheDerp is heading back for an early bath one more time.
Going for the double digits currently, trying to stay alive in that circle of protection, healing up a little bit, but Wukong going to land back in. Barely able to escape currently, but finally Kaajee finding the kill. Number 10 death for HerpTheDerp. Echo trying to run away, going to get stunned out. Unravel on top. Intoxicate trying to deter them away, but they're not going to stop. They're going to go for the kill.
They're going for kills here. Now the tower focus is there from Drizzi as well. 5 members grouped up by XL looking for the tier 2 tower. This game is getting out of hand now. As you can see, the gold lead is just monumentally in favor of XL.
And now Farleez trying to do whatever he can to get the kill onto Airbrushd, but not going to find it. He's just going to disengage. Echo trying to assist, but not going to find a kill. Tier 2 tower does go into the way of XL. They're looking like they're going to try to go for the Fire Giant, however. Bacchus is available. Does he have Wrath? No, he doesn't.
No. I mean, they're stripping the jungle right now. The speed buff stolen away, given over to Airbrushd one more time. And they're going to head back to base. And actually, the call comes out from Excellence to say, day is done. XL 2-0?
26-6.
I think a lot of people lost FP today.
Yeah.
It's not free FP week, that's for
Not
sure.
free FP week for...
Unfortunate.
Not for Excellence.
Hey, unfortunate for XL, though. They found their first 2 wins. Performance from them, overall, pretty damn good today. I think Airbrushd led from the forefront a lot during those games.
The issue was for XL that they found the kills necessary that they needed to, right? And they found the objectives shortly afterwards, whereas the earlier weeks, they just never could find those objectives.
I agree. And they had opportunities to find those objectives too in previous weeks, but they just never seemed to go for them when it was important for them to do that.
And this time around, they did have the Bacchus the first game around with that Wrath, with Isis as well the first game around, which actually forced Excellence to pick up the Isis game too. But then XL had the beautiful counter strategy of just shutting down headers.
And like I said, Airbrushd, game 1 had a fantastic performance in the Fenrir. Game 2, a bit of Ratatoskr for himself, but got off to such a great start for his team.
And yeah, he was just all over the place that he needed to be. As the Fenrir specifically, he made the perfect engagements, and then most of the time he had good disengages as well.
Yeah, this one's just a very good team fight from the whole team of XL. And then this one, I believe, is a triple kill play coming out where he picks up Lycan early on, continues chase, gets a good Ragnarok off to set up his team for another kill, ends up getting credit for this one as well, I believe, and then cleans up the third as well.
And what was interesting about this whole game was that Excellence had 5 purifications to start, trying to stop the Fenrir, but they just couldn't.
Just couldn't. And then HerpTheDerp, game 2 here. On the Janus, he found a couple of these bad boys out of his pocket. Don't know where he found those.
With the red buff, that's where they found the unstable vortexes getting set up by the Athena taunt. Just a lot of good AoE that was getting set up with the taunts, the roots. These unstable vortexes were doing so much damage.
Yeah, you can see him just happy to box here. He wasn't scared of running because he knew his team would come to the rescue there. Good work from XL, finding the 2-0 here today, so they don't end the season like they started it with 0 wins.
No, they definitely played with a lot more confidence into trusting each other as a whole cohesive unit.
Well, don't forget, SWC tickets are on sale right now. You can head over and get all your ticket information at hi-rezexpo.com, I believe. It'll come up in a moment at the bottom. Pretty hair, we'll make it work one day. But while that's going on, get your tickets for SWC. You'll be able to come and see the PC World Championships. Obviously, we'll have console action going on there, as well as Paladins and Jetpack Fighter as well.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Cobb Energy Center from the second week of January?
I think it's the first week of January. But hi-rez Expo, hang on 1 second. Let me see if I can get this working again. I got the Scuff controller from yesterday, right? They programmed this yesterday, right?
Can I try it?
Well, watch. If I press the button, it should change camera. So if I go to single of Toli first of all. No, it's
broken. Wait, check the batteries. Check the batteries.
I've not turned it on, so I don't have the light on. The light's coming on now.
Oh, the light's coming on?
There we go. We'll get it working in the break anyway. We're going to come to a quick break, guys, and come back for the second set of Barrage versus Rival. These two have been going at it all season long. They're going to go at it at LAN, but they're going to go at it here today as well.